Hello everybody, welcome back to Dark Souls, story mode. So, where was I? Last time, Argyle Basin described it, check. Oh yes, they got to the town. So they got to the first town. Zarek! Damn it, that's the name Mr. Fairfax went with while he was a Dragonborn. Zarek. So they get to the first town. Little tiny town, one shop, one tavern, you know, very small. And they get there, and there's a hunter's board there, where basically, it's not like an organized guild, but if anybody who wants and thinks they're good enough can go out and take up these jobs posted by, like, townspeople. And they get there, and they're introduced to people, and it's like, where are you from? They're like, we escaped the vast Lex Empire, and the shifter man who met them there was like, man, you did? Fuck those people. And they're like, my man, these are our people. So they were all excited to be finally out of the vast Lex Empire in the Argyle Basin. From there, they went around, they met with a lot of townsfolk, they kind of, you know, got themselves in with the rest of the town, really, you know, worked on just meeting people, and Mr. Fairfax paid them, so they had some money. They went, they got drinks, they slept in real beds, they were like, yes, this is great. And then they went and they checked out the job board, where they decided to take out some contracts. Ooh, that's rough, buddy. So the first one they took out was like, what should we do? And there were a bunch of things on there, and it's like, let's go do that one, as they pointed to, like, the toughest thing on the board. It was like, you know, there's a stone worm that's, like, apparently been near the basin. Go get rid of it. It's like, we'll do that. I don't think I explained it properly, but the, like, stony dragon is called a stone worm, and they're only in the desert. So seeing one down, like, encroaching on the basin is, like, bad news. And they're like, we'll do that. Because none of them even made the DC on the fear check for them. Jokes aside, they eventually decided to go with a contract they knew they could do, which was go help an old lady control her giant toads. So out on the outskirts, like a couple hours away from the village, there's an old lady who's been growing giant toads for a long, long time. Because they eat the meat there, and, you know, that sort of thing. So she's like a giant toad farmer, and they go there and they're like, hey, old lady, what's with the toads? And she's like, those ones in that cage over there are bad. And it's like, what do you mean? It's like, sometimes they just do that. And they look over to the cage where there's these giant toads, and they're like, what do you mean they just do that? Because they thought, like, she meant that sometimes the toads just get fucking giant. When in fact she meant sometimes the giant toads just go bad. And they get, like, violent. So, they were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So they were like, alright, those are the bad ones? And it's like, yeah, there's 4 in there, and then there was one other one, but it, like, got away. But those are the 4 there. And I'm like, alright, consider this problem solved. So they basically stood outside the edge of the cage, chose one toad, and just fucking blasted it with ranged weapons until it died, and they moved on to the next one. This entire time they were fighting the first 2. The third one was eating the 4th one. It was making like noises. It got like it's like just chewed apart by the one of the other toads, and it was like they're like, oh my god, that's brutal. So they watched the one toad eat the other toad, waited till the other toad was dead, and then killed the one that ate it. And they were like, woo, good job, we did it. And I'm doing all these hand motions if you see me stop scrolling through the menu. They were like, woo, we did it. You know, go us. I'm gonna be one short, aren't I? It's okay, though. No, it's not okay. Because I have to do that, then go to a bonfire to... No, I think I can reinforce them there. It's okay, it's okay. We're good. So then it was like, you know, oh, you know, wait, one of the players said, wait, wasn't there a fifth toad that escaped? And as he was saying that, I was literally rolling stealth for the other toad. I got a really good roll. As it just, like, you know, walked up behind them. And they all turn around to see the toad go, like, and, like, you know, fly at them. And they're like, oh no! So there was actually a little bit of, I'd say, difficult combat, but they handled it really well. So they killed that one. It's like, alright, we did it. So they got the rewards. They went back to town, got the rewards, and it's like, oh yeah, we did it. I don't know what the fuck is up with this rogue guy. It's just really depressed rogue, man. So they went back to the town and got their... Oh, fuck! No, 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 no. Bad, bad, bad. Oh, shit. Blood loss? You don't say. I got too close to the cleric. That was bad. That was the first time I died. I started grinding. Just saying. So yeah, they all, you know, went back to the message board and was like, woo, we did it, and they got a little bit of money and like a shitty magic item. It was like a +1 quarterstaff, but you could like break it permanently and like summon some giant toads. It was cool. It was like a little flavorful item. It wasn't bad. Then they were like, alright, that was easy. Let's do something harder. So they picked like a bounty. Like, I expect them to go after like one. Maybe they'd try a second one and realize like, oh shit, that's bad, and leave. But of course they didn't do that. They picked the next one on the board, which was go to this Grung city and basically depopulate it. They're moving into our territory, it's bad, this can't happen, get rid of the Grung. So, fuck off, dude. Players go there and they get to the first little bit on the outskirts of the city, and they're a couple days away. And they're like, oh, look, it's Grung City. Let's go in there and kill them. And it's like, wait, maybe we can lure them out. So they set up like this trap, and they get all ready to go. And they're like, alright, now somebody needs to go lure them over here to this trap while they're like hiding in the trees and stuff. Ulrich, the rogue, who can move really fucking fast, is like, I'll do it. And then Nyla spoke up like, no, I'll do it, I want to die. Everyone was like, he's like, I will do it. It's like, alright, sure, go for it. So Nyla goes up there and just starts like playing his instrument, because they're on the ground and the cities, like I said, are like up in the trees. So he's underneath the city. It's like standing there playing his instrument. And it's like, make a perception check, you know, see when they're coming. It's fucking natural 1. So he's just standing there just like do-do-do-do on his instrument while all these Grung are climbing underneath the city towards him. And the players set up their like trap really far away, and all the players see this and they're like, oh no! Nyloth is gonna die! So they like all start running out of their trap they set up towards Nyloth, who's just sitting there playing his instrument. Just having the time of his life. And eventually they get within range where Ulrich is able to fire his crossbow, hand crossbow, which is why it's, you know, short distance. But eventually he gets into hand crossbow range. What the fuck? Give me a second, this guy's being weird. He gets into hand crossbow range and fires it at the Grung, but isn't able to hit them, but is enough to like get Nyloth to be like, whoa, what's going on? And he looks up and he sees 5 Grung directly above him as they drop down on him. He's like, oh no! So he starts running. And then, as he's running away, the Grung, you know, it's 5 grung with class levels versus, not a lot of class levels, but a couple each, against a level 2 bard. So he goes down like a fucking sack of bricks. I mean, there's nothing to do there. And all the grung start marching forwards while one of them, with daggers, starts to drag him back towards the city. And it's like, oh no, better start writing up a new character sheet. So they all start running in there to try to save their friend. And Delson the Paladin runs up ahead of everybody else, as like all the grung are advancing. And the big grung in the front, like, flies up to him, like, faster than Delson thought he could, which is why I really want to parry that dude's punch. I've got to just let him heal. I can't pull the barbarian. Let's see. So, Delson, like, is in melee range and he didn't think he was. So this red grung flies up to him and is an open hand monk. And basically just, like, hits him a bunch of times, folds him up into a suitcase, and just fucking... That's interesting. Just fucking throws him back to the rest of the grung, because he was an open hand monk. And he hit him with, like, every attack, basically. Just, like, dropped his hit points. And then used the open hand monk thing, where you can push him, so he just pushed him back to all of the grung with the daggers, which were like, really low-level rogues. And so Delson and Nyloth are both being dragged back into the city. At this point, it's like, guys, what do we fucking do? So at this point, the warlock and the rogue and the cleric are all sitting there like, what do we do? Like, these guys are coming to kick our asses. And eventually it's like, Finnick is holding the staff, and it's like, oh, I know. And he cracks the staff open, and 3 giant toads come out and just start going fucking apeshit on the grung. Like, I rolled so well for these toads. Like, it wasn't even fair. So the toads are taking a lot of damage, and they're doing a lot of damage. So the players are just like, all right, time to sit back and help these toads destroy these grung. One of the toads falls, but one of them is hurt, and one of them actually hasn't even been hit yet. I want to get my equipment load to 100. And, it's like, oh, our friends are in the village now that they defeated, like, the 3 grung that were down there, the monk and 2 rogues. And they were like, oh, our friends are in the village, what do we do? It's like, well, we gotta go in after them. So they go to the village, and they dispatch the 2 remaining rogue grung, which was really easy. And it's like they get their friends and they are able to heal them up, and it's like, well, what do we do? Like, get fucked. It's like, what do we do with all these grung? All these civilians here, and like, they're all in the houses. And it's like, what's going on? And like some of the women like run out with like knives and shit. And it's like, oh no. And then people coming at them with knives, they put them down. But it's like, what do we actually do? Like, there's a bunch of like children in this village. Do we just leave them here? Or, like, it's like our contract was to get rid of all the grung. They weren't really sure what to do. And they went over and they saw a cage with like 2 people who were unconscious with like tons of poison in them, and they'd been like really brutally beaten, and it was like all recruits from the area was like, this is what grung do. They are not good. So Finnick the Dragonborn was like, alright, works for me. Kicked open a door and just fire breathed the entire building. Do you put your fucking shield? Oh, I can kick. What am I doing? And he's like, oh, well, I guess we have to fucking kill all these things then. So they ended up killing everything in the village, which they kind of had to, but it was cool because the players like showed like some of them were okay with it, some of them weren't, and it was, I mean, all the players themselves didn't really give a shit, but like they played the characters well. Like some of the characters objected to it, and it's like, listen. The others that didn't were like, listen, these things will grow into problems. These things will learn, and they will get better, and they will be evil far, far better than the previous ones were. It's like, well, shit, you know. So, they eventually ended up exterminating all of them. And during that time, the really hurt Toad was told to go kill off like where all the like grung nesting was, and so he went up there and just like started like eating them, and then keeled over from all the poison in the water. It's like, no! It's pretty funny. So with one Toad left, they went to go assault the main part of the city, which they kept taking the bridges to, and eventually went underneath the water level, and everyone was like, oh, what do we do? We can't breathe. And Ulrich, who was from there, was like, you mean, just breathe. Don't be a little bitch, or whatever he said. And he just walked underneath, and it's like, I can't breathe water. So everybody held their breath, and eventually, you know. What the fuck is, what the, just, you're going off the edge, man. You're going off the edge, man. Goodbye. So, what was it? Eventually they all, you know, lost holding their breath. You can only hold your breath for so long. This is bad, because I can't fucking see. It's still gonna be bad if I get blood loss, but... Oh, you didn't like that. Ow! Hold on. Story's on pause for a second. This dude's fucking annoying. He's never ever that hard usually. Anyway. So eventually they all breathe underwater and say, oh shit, we can breathe. So they go underwater and they're, you know, going towards the Grung City, and eventually they're over near there. And it's like, alright, that's a lot of guards, we gotta set the plan. So through some cunning and stealth, they start like picking off the patrolling guard packs. So they fight like 2, maybe 3 Grung at a time. They catch them like unaware and surprised, which was really clever of them. And they used Frog to great advantage. Oh, sorry. I should explain. Shortly after this whole escapade to all the Grung, their giant toad was decided it needed a name. So they named their giant toad Frog. Guess what else would you name it? I'm having a real difficulty here. So yeah, I don't know if he had his name yet, but eventually he got his name. But regardless, they used their giant toad to go up and like get the opening salvo and just clamp onto the one Grung. All the Grung were like really low class on this, so that outright killed some of them, and if it didn't, it really hurt them. So they went around eliminating guard packs like that until they cleared out the lower half of the city, because it was built like on both halves. That scared me. It was built on like 2 halves of a disc that were suspended amongst the trees. They cleared out the lower half, which like hung downwards and held like the bridges and stuff throughout all the buildings, and found the prisoners who were being kept there as slaves to be sold later, because that's what Grung do for the most part. They like enslave and they capture. They're just generally bad. So they found those people and they were like, alright, I'm gonna go to the top half. And they made their way to the top half, which was a little bit more spooked because of, you know, all the people from the bottom half all of a sudden just disappeared. Like, weren't answered. So the guard packs got a little bit bigger, and however, they were still able to use a lot of cunning to take them out. Ow. Alright. Sometimes this rogue guy is just hyper aggressive, and sometimes he just couldn't give a damn from just standing there. So from there, they started taking out the guard packs again, and were being really clever about it. And then they eventually got to the final group of like prisoners in this central square, where there were these like 3 impressive-looking grungs standing there, and they're like, oh, this is gonna be bad. So they sneak up and they try to get like the first hits in, but I don't believe their sneak was good enough there. So it's a big battle against some grung with some decent class levels. There was a cleric, a druid, and a barbarian. That was the last one. So they're all focusing on the druid and trying to keep the barbarian like locked down while they have... Oh god, that hurt. I tried to roll backwards there, but that didn't work. Sir with the giant axe, did you not? Thank you. So they're like trying to burn down the druid, and the barbarian's like being held up by something. I don't remember what. He's just not having a good time. But the cleric was like, you know, buffing people and like healing and doing decent damage. Because clerics can do a lot of damage in 5e. So it's like, oh shit, the cleric's kind of a problem. And the cleric was like, oh shit, these like PCs are a problem coming in here. We gotta, you know, I gotta go after them. So he's like ignoring the frog that's like, hey, trying to get down like these people who are casting and stuff. And then Frog, I just started rolling so well for him. And Frog just starts eating him. It's like, oh no. Oh, this giant toad is fucking hurting me. Holy shit. So the next turn he casts Inflict Wounds on the giant toad. And just hits and does a lot of damage. Everyone's like, no! No, Frog! And everyone's like really worried, but he's alright, because he's got a decent amount of hit points. He did like 2/3 of his health bar, but it's like, oh no, you know, that's he's hurt. And then the next turn, Frog fucking like swallowed him, so he had disadvantage because he was restrained and didn't hit with the inflict wounds. And Frog, basically the moral of the story is, holy shit, giant toads are really scary, because one of them soloed a like level 6 cleric. I want to wave, but I know he'll fucking delete me. Man, I got really bad at dealing with this guy. But yeah, so Frog soloed that guy. I mean, he wasn't getting attacked at first because the casters were more worried. But then the cleric realized, like, oh shit, these guys don't know what they're doing. This giant toad gnawing on me is really a big problem. Ow. But yeah, eventually they focus fired the druid enough to burn through the 2 wild shapes, his moon druid. And then they were able to get the barbarian down when he was the last one left, which wasn't too bad. Yeah, then they freed everybody, started curing the poison on everybody. Well, thank you. That's not very useful, but thank you. And, let's see. Oh. Thank you. Still not useful, but they cured the poison. They started bringing people back to where they left Ringo above the waterline. They're dragging people back. And eventually they get everybody ready to go, and they start heading back towards civilization. Yes. Yeah, I think that should be good for grinding, actually. Warp over to, hello there, I like your sword. I'm gonna perish. They headed back, and they got to the town, and turned in their quest. I think that's where our story of D&D is going to pause, because I think I'm done grinding. I don't need to go to you. I don't know why I'm here. All I know is I must kill. Alright. Yes, this circle is a tough enemy. I think once I get my pike lightningized, I think I will probably call it. And we'll come back next time when I am fighting those fucking drakes again. They're not drakes, they're wyverns. Even though it's called Valley of the Drakes. Or is it Valley of Drakes? I think it's of the... I honestly don't know. What am I doing? Can I actually throw on my pike again? Because it helps versus those fucking pink dudes. Bad. Easy. Goodbye. Might as well use one, there's no reason not to. Let's say that I cannot die. Easy. Not really, those things kick the shit out of me every time. Pike. No. Alright. So... it actually doesn't scale with anything. Interesting. Wait, does it? No, it stops scaling altogether with... So yeah, its physical goes down, and its scaling goes from plus 78 from my, I guess, strength and dex to 0. And its base physical damage goes down because it's going from plus 9 way down. However, it gets a nice chunk of lightning damage. It'll actually be better for me than, well, hold on, it'll be a bit over 300, 308. The other one is, yeah, 250. So yeah, it'll actually be better for me once it goes to lightning as well. And what does that cost? Requires a chunk to upgrade. I'll do it. Now, can I plus my lightning pike? And if so, what does it cost? Chunks, jeez. So does this actually not scale with anything? It doesn't scale with anything, that's interesting. That must be good for, like, those level 1 builds I've heard of, then. Because it doesn't scale, it just increases. Alright. I guess I'll buy another big one since I'm here. I guess I'll repair while I'm here, too. Maybe I should do a little bit more grinding to, upgrade my armor. I think I might do that. I feel like upgrading my armor would be good at this point in the game. Until I take it off. Alright, let's try this out. The other one's coming. I don't want to deal with that. The other one is not coming, I'm just retarded. Is the other one coming? It is. Okay. I'm stuck on a shield. I'm stuck on a shield. Help! Actually, I really don't care about these 600 souls. Just hit me. You. Oh, they have metal. They might be strong against lightning. We're weak. I don't honestly know. Anyway. Oh, I'm here. Perfect. The one time that has worked out for me. Guess I'll try the pike against those guys now. I don't think it does as much damage as my longsword. 154, 304. What is my longsword? Oh wow, that does a lot more than my longsword actually. Wow, my longsword does not do a lot of damage. $160 plus 92 is, I mean, it's a little less. It's actually a little more than the pike did originally, but not much. Ooh, get some nice echo on that. I didn't realize this game had echo. Not sure how I feel about this, but it's definitely got the range, which I'm sure I'll be happy with. I don't think I'll ever be unhappy about the range. Oh, that was like one away from killing it instantly. That is the one thing. I don't know if lightning damage scales if I do two-handed. Probably not. It's probably only the physical damage. Well, no, it's probably neither because it increases the strength, which doesn't matter because it's not scaling. So that's the reason it was better to two-hand my... Actually, yeah, does it matter if I two-hand this? Because it doesn't scale. I guess I should have paid attention to that. I'll check that out and then I'll call it. Where did I leave off in the D&D story? Oh, they just got back up to the ground. That's right, that's right. Because I have a feeling I'm going to continue that next episode when I grind for armor pieces. Alright, get it to notice me. Cool. So this does 135. And this does 190. Why? I thought it just increased the strength. I was going to say 309 too, it shouldn't be. Oh, okay. I don't know why that does that. I don't understand the Dark Souls math. I'm not looking it up right now. However, I will be trying my spear next time against those dudes. So it should be fun. Pike. Sorry, I returned pike. Anyway, thank you for joining me. And I will see you next time with D&D Stories.